billion. Yeah. Oh, wait, did I just run it? I was falling asleep, but you woke me back up. Well, that's great because it's time to wake up again. If you're not already awake, remember, stay awake. Don't let the illusion put you to sleep. Be mindful of the path. Oh yeah, all my hair. You might think it's old jokes, but I got plenty more. So we're listening to an energy mix. Should be pretty cool. That's good old Celeste. Very good band. Underrated. They're coming up on their own though, and they're not so underrated anymore. You know, I definitely recommend them. It's some good old rock and roll, but like new rock and roll. You know. Okay, first, I got actually I got 3.5 hours sleep this morning, but so I'm not delirious. I'm not, but I like to joke around about it like that. Hold on. So yeah, and I'm still not done, but you know, I've got all weekend. I'm very close to catching up completely. So yeah, like I'm working like overtime. You know, it's just like okay, but I'm going to try to articulate very well this evening. All right, so this one is the Buddha quote. It's kind of towards the beginning, right before the Yellow Wolf song. All right, remember to take this all in context. All right, from top to bottom. You got to wait until it's all there. All right. Okay, so Buddha. Do not be led into lying. Do not be attached to forms. You must see through all pride and fare along without violence. All right. Now, this is all about keeping the clear head and keeping the path. You know, don't be deceived into lying. You know, like the good analogy is if my enemies approach you, remember that they're not good people. They're liars. You know, I can't trust a single word they say. You know, I've said that before. They're untrustworthy. So don't lie with them. Don't don't get. Oh yeah, they're gay, so I don't have to worry about my women lying with them. But anyway, yeah, like if they tell you to do anything, if you're a believer or even if you're in the empire, just say no. Like they're always going to try to mess it around to where you're going to piss me off somehow and you won't know it because they know what ticks me off. You know, it's just like, just be sweet, dress nice, ladies, if you want to do it. Dudes, don't do the dreamscapes. But anyway, all that to say, if they ask you to do anything, drive by here, you know, making noise or anything, just say no, you know. Do not be attached to forms, all right? Sex is awesome, but if you let that control you, you're not going to get the life that you want. Or forms like TV, or you know, I teach you how to be formless. Well, forms are things that are anything in the material world. Say you love your bathtub, you know, it's like don't love your bathtub too much, you know, or you love your bed, you know. Who doesn't love? Well, I love my bed, but anyway, like so I don't get attached to it. Listen. You hear that? They'll go out there and they'll rev their engines, right? So it just went up to, this is the night before, but I'm about to post that it's about to go up to 120 billion, all right? So here's what I'm going to do. The last sentence here. See through, you must see through all pride and fare along without violence. Pride will only bring you down, whether national pride, family pride, even being proud of your children, or your significant other, okay? The gay people, the pride thing, like, it's like you say gay pride, and then you take the rainbow, or you try to take the rainbow, you try to take the color purple. It's like you're setting yourself up for disaster at the beginning. It's like you were doing it just to be arrogant, Your pride will be your downfall. The rainbow is about Noah. It's not about gayness, all right? Dang, the ark and being a sign of hope. Y'all aren't a sign of hope. Y'all are a sign of corruption, all right? And delusion and mental illness. And the color purple is royalty. It's not fat. It's not gay. All right? So understand that, like, you're going down the wrong path. And then there's fare along without violence. I talk violence in my work, but it's all a metaphor. Violence isn't caused by video games. It's not caused by movies. It's not caused by anything like that. It's something that parents like to blame instead of, blaming themselves, that TV, all that whatever. You got to have control, definitely, but it's all like, we'll have virtual reality programs, like I said, the holodeck in Star Trek, where you can get in there and play a video game like Uncharted, but it's like virtual reality, if you know what Uncharted is. Or Assassin's Creed, you can actually be in the video game, So those are ways to have an outlet of violence. But like I was talking about, the violent gangsters, I am a gangster in a way. I'm a co-leader. I'm a lot of things, but I'm a non-violent gangster. So when I post that thing about Al Capone, I'm not just posting it to be cool. I am posting it because that's exactly what happens to me. I'm kind to people. I'm not nice, but I'm kind to people, and they think it's a weakness. They think it's something they can exploit. And I'm just like. So anyway, so like I said, just listen to me and do what I say. Even if you're gonna be gay, drop the whole pride, rainbow, purple thing. Like, who are you to take that? It's like you're totally soiling everything that is awesome about those things, that rainbows and purple, and I'm not going to let you have it. You can't have it. Forget it. Okay, so posting a song by Chalel today. Very good, man. Let's see, this is a really cool song. It meant so much to me. And it's exactly what it was like in homelessness, So, yeah, I was so grateful that they put that song out, Because it can be motivating, That Alice in Chains song, Nutshell, it's like, that was another soundtrack to being homeless. I'd listened to it for years, but it actually came like in a true reality, like a true sense. And that's what's weird is about like a bunch of the songs I post, I'm like the epitome of it. Like I'm at the highest level to where these songs actually apply to me in a very real way, even in the mundane, it's like, it's really weird. Like I can use all these songs I've listened to in the past and it illustrates, things that have happened. And I've elevated to where like almost all of these songs could be applied to me. I'm not saying that they're about me in any way, except the ones I know about. All right. So, okay, the second one. This is by Apostle Paul. This is very important. All right. Therefore, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed and be renewed by the renewing of the mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is: good, pleasing, and perfect will. Okay? That's what I like. The good, the pleasing, and the perfect. All right? It's total awesomeness that I can... Hold on. I got to keep this stars thing going because it keeps fading out. It provides lighting for the video. So anyway, this is what it's all about, you know. I am very merciful, but you've got to put your life up, you know, as a living sacrifice, and just give me everything, surrender everything to me. That doesn't mean I'm going to be like, okay, once that money hit my account, you know, go ahead and park your car, or I got, you know, a 2-car garage. Go ahead and park both your cars in there. I might need both of them later. You know, that's not what I'm going to do. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that be ready. Be holy and pleasing to God. All right? Be holy. All right? Work on it. It's possible. Perfection is possible. All right? This is true and proper worship. Don't conform to the pattern of the world. You know, pop culture is bullshit. It's an illusion. All right? It's better to focus on the new world. You know, even religion, as old religion, you know, I've kind of renewed it in a different way. But religion that has really become obsolete, and also, like, the government also casts such an illusion. You know, they make you want to chase your desires so you can be confused. You know, they want to bust you down and make you poor. You know, because so they can control you. They are doing all these things, and this is part of so-called society. You know, this is more than just a great society. All right, this is going to be an advanced civilization. All right, so you need to let go of the old world, the war, you know, all these things becoming obsolete, okay? Even society, you know, some of this pop music is like, what the fuck, you know? It's like, who the fuck approved this stuff, you know? But Janet, I can't wait to see you at the Super Bowl. I hope it's going to be an awesome show. I'm looking forward to it. I would love to spend an evening with the awesome and lovely Janet Jackson. You know, you can tell me about all your family, and that's good. I would be totally focused on you. But if you got a problem, yeah, definitely. Let's see. So then you do all these things, then you can test and approve what my will is. You're not going to have to ask me. That's the way I make my writing cryptic. You know. If you have a dirty mind and you read things, you're going to read it totally different. You know, it's like you've got to purify your mind by in every way, so you can read what it is. So I know if you study and you read my work, you're not going to take it in a perverted way. But I know these yahoos out here, they're going to take it a different way. People in my technology, it's so easy to fool them and like... and trick them into, you know, falling off sides. You know, that kind of shit. It's just like, it's just, I can't be beat. You know, it's like, no one can beat me. You know, no one can destroy me. You know, no one can stop me. And of course, all this shit continues to go on, but nobody ever confronts me. Just like Jesus would walk through the crowd and no one would touch him, you know. It's all an illusion. You know, I walk to the store, you know, and I know nobody's going to come up to me and say, hey, or, you know, only come up to me if you have good intentions. You know, if you got a problem or you got a question, you know, or you want to talk to me for a little bit, maybe you dig me or whatever, you know, that kind of thing. So, if you ever want to test what my will is, you already know if you're using the dream mover lens. Okay. Otherwise, these people are going to continue to get the wrong impression, and I'm going to continue to raise the settlement, you know, in vast amounts. All right. We got a ways to go till we get to even trillion, and then we got quadrillion, you know. So I mean, it can always raise up. There's the option if y'all don't want to pay the settlement. That's fine with me. You're under no obligation to pay the settlement. But then I will go after each and every company in the government, and I'll go after Israel, and I'll go after all the networks, and I'll go after all of the TV apps, and I'll go after all the commercials that they played, and I'll even go after the people that act in the commercials. All right? You thought you were so smart, and these people have no idea that you're using them for an evil purpose, Well, and then, of course, I'll go everybody in my hometown. I'm going to sue them all, Snitch, I'm going to sue him into homelessness, and I'll sue him into, wanting to kill himself. And that's just I'm going to do that, after he goes through all the tortures and I make him a maggot. It's like I'm going to be rich anyway. It's like I don't care, but you're going to go to Antarctica. If I got to do it a la carte, yeah, you're going to Antarctica. There's no way out of it. So the only way out of Antarctica is if you pay the settlement amount that I continue to post and stop doing shit. Leave. Stop. Leave me alone. Get out of my technology. Everything. And just totally leave. I'm never giving up. Okay? And I prove this over and over again. Every time I go to a new place, they try to make these people enthused like it's something new. They don't know the history. They don't know where I've been and what I've been through. They don't know me, So it's like, just let them be fooled. They're a bunch of fools. And don't ever believe fools. Why would you want to take a fool seriously? It's just like, whatever. So that's the deal. Yeah, you can get out of Antarctica if you pay the settlement, but if you don't, you go to Antarctica, and I go out after each and every entity that stole my work, that interfered with me, that persecuted me, all of that shit. All right? I'm serious. I am not joking around here. I'm not like, oh, hey, funny, I'm getting rich. I don't give a fuck. I am very serious about this. I'm not backing down about it, all right? I am in control here. I am the king. I am God. So it doesn't matter what you think, okay? I know, right? Living next to a train track. I'm what can you do, It's not really across the tracks because, the poor area is kind of in the middle of Palmdale. So you got rich over here and you got rich over here. It's kind of a different structure than usual cities. Yeah, okay. Next verse. Be sure to pay attention to this lesson. It's another awesome one. They're all great, it's all genius. Okay, the Tao here. Okay, so this is all talking about, you might understand, this is all about, not leaving a mess behind what you do. Always clean up, prepare and everything, but pick up your mess to where, there's not any way that people can trace even your good deeds back to you. You understand what I'm saying? It's like they say, don't let your right hand know what your left hand is doing. Well, that's kind of stupid. But what it really means is, when you give to charity, don't announce it and don't write it off on your taxes. It's like, why are you trying to get a kickback off of your charity? It's like, that defeats the purpose of charity. Now, somebody else announces, so-and-so, gave blah, 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 so much money to this organization, then, yeah, if other people brag about you, that's fine, but don't be your own, don't shine the light on yourself like that, all right, so the perfect reckoner needs no counting device. That means, you don't need to do the math if you already know the math, okay? And then here it talks about the perfect door, and that means when there's trust within the community, we don't have to lock our doors. Of course, right now we have to lock our doors, but in the Dreamweaver world, just kind of like well, it was all white America back then, but they could like leave their doors open and unlocked, like it would kind of be that kind of thing, but not a white nation, it's all mixed, whatever. But so that's what that means. Like, if you think about it, and that's the same way with the perfect knot, if you have a relationship with somebody, you don't need anything for that knot because you don't need like something to connect you. It's like even the telepathy. Like I shouldn't need telepathy, and I don't. It's just something added on, like cherry on a Sunday or some shit. Something like that. So. And this is where it gets very important, where I need you to understand. Hold on. They're probably messing with my stuff. I guess I'm going to have to make it 130. Hold on a second. Yep. Actually, it's going to be 140 billion now by the time y'all get this message. I've got to wait till this loads up. Hold on. And then they'll put my stuff at a different point. And they come around here and they're like, give up. And like, they don't know my history. Why would I give up? I'm almost there. I'm practically in. I've gone past what I need to, and it's just going to be on the up and up from now on. Hold on. I'll find my place here. Where we were at. Okay, so this Tao, this is very important. I'm going to read this. Truly, the perfect man is the teacher of the imperfect. But the imperfect is the stock and trade of the perfect man. All right? And then this next verse here. He who does not respect his teacher, he who does not take care of his stock and trade, much learning though he may possess, is far astray. Think about all the work I put into my work, my stock and trade, right? It's like I put a lot of diligence into it. I do a lot of things that just make it perfect, but at the same time, I respect my students, I respect you, but you also need to respect me, okay? That's why I always say, if you're not going to listen to this stuff, get away, leave the kingdom, delete yourself off my list, or delete me to delete you, that kind of thing. I can take it. I actually want that because that purifies the cult. Because of all the work I put into it, it's like I really want people on my list, my friends list, to be actually part of the cult and kingdom. All right, and I know I got followers everywhere. It really is kind of like more of a formality. Like it's just kind of like there to show, like how it would be when I have my website, for instance. All right. So it doesn't matter how much you think you know. If you're not respecting me and I'm not taking care of you, there's a conflict there, and we would fly apart. If people were to allow themselves to live by their own desires, the whole world would fall apart. I mean, think about lives. When people become a hedonist and chase their desires and do whatever they want, their life falls apart. And it's only the ones that have a lot of money that can keep it going. All right, so the Quran verse. This is important. It talks about Moses and talks about Jesus, the succession of messengers. Clear signs. Talk about Jesus again. Clear signs and strengthened him with the Holy Spirit. How is that whenever a messenger brings you something you do not like, you become arrogant, calling some imposters and killing others. I mean, you could look at that like Socrates, or even me. They were trying to kill me. It's just like because or they like the Jewish faith talks about Jesus. They call him an imposter. They become arrogant. That's all people though. Like as Israel is, so is the human race. You know what I'm saying? So like everybody's like, well, that's the way it's always been. Well, this is the second creation. This is time for the new world. Okay, this is the next world. This is Dreamweaver world. All right, and it really is like how they tried to invade me, invade Dreamweaver world, and because what they wanted me to do is renounce my faith and give them my government. That was their plan from the beginning. And I'm like, no, there's no way I'm doing that. It's like, I have worked so hard for this. There's no way. And so they need to understand that they can't have my resources. I know that the myth that I write in, where I talk about cannibalism and how hypocritical that the United States is, and all that. And then I use the analogy of when Saddam got pulled out of a hole. It's like Saddam wasn't a bad leader. They just made you think so. They doctored all the satellite photos and all that so they could invade. It's just like in Afghanistan, they just made up a reason of their own terrorist groups. Remember that all the weapons that those so-called terrorists had in Afghanistan were given to them by the U.S., but they're strangely old. So they say, well, they were given to us at an old time. It's like, you don't have to like really, it really is 1 + 1 is 2 or 3. It's like, there's no way that these terrorist organizations would do that. There's no way that a terrorist organization is going to knock down the Twin Towers. Okay, there were different kind of terrorists, different type of terrorist organizations. They're the U.S. government. All right, so yeah, like the U.S. government's a bully, and if I hadn't come along, like I said, the world would be burning right now with nuclear waste, nuclear energy, nuclear radiation. It's just like once it all goes, it goes. Like once one missile is launched, all the missiles are launched. Like there's no being steadfast about that. Like you fire one nuclear missile at another country, one's coming right back to you. If not that country, it's a country like Russia, a country like maybe even Canada. Like it could come from anywhere. It's just like Canada doesn't really like the United States. They try to emulate them or whatever, but it's just because the United States is a bully, and they don't want a wall going up between, Canada and the U.S., but kind of like in South Park, Canada might put a wall between the United States and Canada because, everybody knows, but it's kind of like the bully where nobody wants to say anything, but everybody knows that the United States has gone insane, totally, and I'm part of the reason that brought them out to where people could see their insanity by how they treated me. All right. This is not optional. All right. Okay. Now the Psalms, there's going to be a time where I get angry, and I'm not going to want to talk to you for a while. It could be a group, maybe the whole cult, like y'all aren't being good enough. I'm going to go to, I don't know, I'm going to take the trip through the Middle East that I've always wanted to take, that kind of thing, through the Silk Road. Like, how awesome would that be, right? To just kind of travel it. I'm sure it's a highway by now, but yeah, like just to kind of study history. You think about that Silk Road, think about all the time that took, and like, of course, books could have gone back and forth. Jesus could have studied a lot of stuff. There was a lot of Jesus' life that wasn't accounted for. I think that he could have gone to India, or at least went there in India, and learned the precursors of Tantra. All right? It's just like, the things he knows, there's a lot of things that he doesn't. Think about it as a child, he knew scripture, and he explained it in a way that the elders didn't understand where he got this knowledge, and they got offended. It's just like Jesus was not afraid to offend people, just like Socrates. And he wasn't a pushover. He was always willing to stand up. Of course, everybody knows about all the marketplace shops and tents set up within the temple grounds. And if you don't know why that's wrong, it's because people could buy, like if they wanted to sacrifice an animal or whatever, they could buy it from these shops. But these shops were supposed to be outside the temple grounds. But Jesus came in and it's just like, money is taken over and money is in the temple, so that's why he started flipping over tables and money changers, people exchanging money from different places of the known world, that kind of thing. So that's why it was so important, and that's why he got so pissed off, You can only choose one or two masters. It comes down to either God or it comes down to money. If you want to worship money, don't worry about coming to the kingdom and the cult, because you aren't going to make it in. There is no way I'm going to let you in if you're greedy. Like people like Elon Musk and Trump and Zuckerberg and these people, they think that they have power, and they know that they don't. They know that since I'm around, I have all the power, and their money doesn't mean shit. I have proved that. With me being so broke from the persecution, it's just like I could have made a great living off of what I did, and I still will. The meditation series will always be free, but I will charge, not for whenever you want to come talk to me about the cult, but if you need a session, like a psychiatry session or shaman, which is kind of the same. You don't have to do drugs, don't worry about that. But I can help you through anything, But anything like that, any of my services, any of my diplomacy efforts, I'm going to have to be paid for that. All right, so just be patient and repent and know that though I might shake the whole earth, that if you keep your faith, as long as you fear me and do what's right and be humble, you're gonna be okay. It's just like I gotta step away, because just like me wanting to go up to a space station and not even be on the planet, it's like humans are just so dumb. And that's the thing. Most educated people, you could say maybe 20% of the world, and most uneducated are 80% of the world. So uneducated people reject intelligence because they don't understand. They take it at face value instead of not understanding the depth of what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, That's why I post things that are cryptic. It's if you don't study, you're not going to figure it out. And if you're taking it at face value, even what I say, then you're not going to understand what I'm doing or what I'm saying. And then this whole thing, I recommend reading the Bible, reading the whole Quran, read it every night a little bit. I have. If you don't know about bringing the Forticides to Edom, and talking about all these different armies and stuff, no longer go out with our armies, for help of man is worthless, and that's what I understand. It's you need to trust me, not man. I am the greatest man ever. But as far as humans, they're worthless, they're just always conniving and deceiving, even intelligent people can do wrong. They can make stupid mistakes. They can do this, they can do that. They can sin, it's but when you get it all together, you will understand how I won't go out with your armies. We'll have our own army without guns and bombs, nonviolence. I'll have people that will go, and they're called angels and demons, all right? So with God, we will gain the victory, and he will trample down our enemies. Think about what I've done with the whole world. I've restrained everybody to figure out who the real enemies are. It's and also, so no more war happens right now. All right, the hidden verses, I'm going to start putting these at the tail end of the lessons when I post them. I put it at the top yesterday because, I'm still getting it all together, so just things are going to flow around. You're going to see a lot of things that repeat, okay, because repetition helps learning. It helps integrate it into your mind. So when you read a double, like, I want you to study it just like everything else, because you'll see it in a different way. When you read one verse or a passage and you live, even a day or a year, and you come back and read the same thing, you're in a different position, a different perspective to where you can read it and glean more wisdom off of it. All right. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. The mouth of the righteous is the fountain of life. The mouth of the righteous is the fountain of life, and violence overwhelms the mouth of the wicked. And we've already talked about that, if you're righteous, you're going to build people up. If you're wicked, you're going to be violent and want to tear everybody down. All right. That's a basic kind of principle. You can, like, some of these things are just like a physical law. It's like a mechanism in reality. The next one, Confucius. I say almost because, to me, like I said, faith and science are the same. I've found a way to integrate them, but only by seeing the big picture. That's the only way I'm able to bring it all together. So, okay, Confucius. Go before the people with your example and be laborious in their affairs. The United States likes to micromanage people. I'm not like this, but still, like, laborious in their affairs. If you come talk to me about something, you're going to have my undivided attention. You're going to understand that I am here to help you. Okay, you're not going to be rejected. All right, you don't have to worry about saying things. I will be very kind to you as long as you don't try to manipulate me. All right? And you can trust me. I'm not going to try to manipulate you. I'm not that guy. All right. So go be an example, and remember, be an example for yourself, for your own business. Make sure it's righteous. Study that Buddha passage, okay, that script, because that whole thing teaches you about what Buddha learned in a very, you could say, scientific way. All right, you got to have all of those things in the Eightfold Path. All right. You've got to have the right lifestyle. You got to have the right attitude. All of these things. So be sure to really study that and save it. Where you can study it offline and think about it and read it, because it unfolds just like my revelation. It's an unfolding revelation. It evolves. With the current events and what we learned from the past and all of that. Okay, the Buddha quote. The one who lives for sensation, unrestrained, indulgent in eating, irreverent, lazy, the tempter Mara breaks, just like the wind breaks a frail tree. Mara in Buddhism is more like kind of like your dark side, but an evil dark side. Okay, it's what tries to break you. You could say it's the demon in you. You could say it's your own self-destructive way of life, and that's what it's saying. If you do all these things, you're not going to get a full vision. You got to take care of your body. You got to think about what you eat, think about, and forget about taboos and superstitions. Forget about what people think. Who cares what people think? It's just like, do whatever you got to do. Like, there are no rules. Break all that stuff down. There's only one rule to live by, and that's my rules. Okay? No matter where you live in the world, whether empire or kingdom, this is going to be worldwide. Okay? So, yeah, it just takes time. I've already encompassed the world. Now it's time to lock everything in the connections to each other. All right? Conversely, the one who lives mindfully, senses under control, moderate in eating, devout, energetic, cannot be overthrown by Mara, just as the wind cannot shake a rocky mountain. All right? You do all these things, and demons aren't going to torment you. You might actually get it where your demons work with you because they're taking my orders. But if I'm sending a bunch of demons over to torment you, like shithead next door, it's like that's the reason why he won't be quiet, because he knows that as soon as he does, all of his evil ways are going to come up in his mind where he has to think about it. That's why people don't like to meditate at first, and that's why I say I give this one way of meditation for everybody to use, even if you don't believe, because it will help you. I'm not trying to lure you over to my side. I'm just saying, hey, here's like a complimentary gift, like you can do this meditation. It'll clear your mind out. It'll help you organize, and you can make a clear decision. And that's what this is all about. And then nothing can shake you. I've been through something no one else could possibly go through. I was not shaken. All right. Like the United States kept thinking, and that there's no way he can go through this. Nobody can do this. This is going to be impossible. He kept putting contracts out on me, for people to use violence on me, and then just everything they've done to me. I just kept going. These people think they can intimidate me, but I have been through so much harsh shit. It's like, and they still don't get it. So. Let sinners be sinners. It's like they're not going to understand. They're going to continue to follow their own desires if that's what they're dead set on doing. I mean, we've always been told, you're always going to do what you want to do, but you've got to make sure your wants are aligned with your needs within that restricted domain, and then you can want anything you want, as long as it's not bullshit. All right. Okay, Jesus. Blessed is the man who will eat at the feast of the kingdom of God. The feast of the kingdom of God, you think about that. Like I was talking about, it'd be nice if some bands came and played at a party, for the kingdom. This is talking about the feast, and you're blessed if you're invited to the feast. And it will be. It'll be like a feast of old times. If you want to pick up a turkey leg or I don't know, what's something crazy, like an elephant leg, like they did in the Flintstones, or a dinosaur leg. I mean, we can clone dinosaurs and eat them, I mean, some of those dinosaurs be good eating, so anyway. All right, so you got to pay attention to this time travel thing. As you can see, everything I write ties into everything else I say, here, I say, I will, okay? Science will admit when it's wrong. Religion will kill to prove that it's right. Something to think about. And I say, I will. What does that mean? Think about that. And Katie Holmes, you're hot, but I got to use this pick. And if you don't want me to, just let me know, and I'll stop using it. Okay. And if if you went back to Scientology, come over here, come over to the Dreamweaver, let's face it, Tom Cruise is an awesome actor, but he's an idiot, and you know that. Like a lot of the girls I like, they know their dudes are idiots if they have them, it's just like, I'm patient, I wait. I'm going to have everything I want eventually. There's no need to hurry. I'm content, so, yeah. There's one more here. Hold on. This is going to be okay. I don't have anything else to talk about, really, so this last thing. This one. Jesus, of course, he's talking to Nicodemus. This is all about the getting reborn of the Spirit, I post that passage too, but it's very important. Like Nicodemus doesn't understand, and it's like these people, they want to know about heaven. Like through Megan, my enemies want to know why and this and that. And I'm like, I'm not here for your instructor. Yeah, I'm going to teach you about what you learn, what you glean from my work, even though it's off the surface. You're going to learn how to read it right. And like I said, you're going to see heaven. You're going to see the light as you're sinking down, as you already are sinking down into hell. Remember, hell prison, Antarctica, hell, it's all hell. You understand? It's like all hell. All hell is breaking loose. But there's also heaven on earth, and that starts right here with me. This fella right here. So anyway, I've spoken to you of earthly things, and you do not believe. How then will you believe if I speak of heavenly things? You know, it's like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, you earthly people, you take everything so superficially. How are you going to understand when I talk about heavenly things? The only people that are going to understand when I talk about heavenly things are the people who pay attention, who use the Dreamweaver lens, who study. Okay, cryptic, of course. You know, it's not the occult, but I also use ideas from the occult, you know, so it's not something like, you got to get rid of taboos and superstitions, things that you were always told as a child. You know, there's that verse that Apostle Paul says, don't let anybody take you away from what you were taught as a child. And so churches like to use that to kind of keep people in place. But that doesn't mean that, you know, you've got to use discernment. You've got to be judicious, all right? You've got to be able to understand what the illusion is and what it isn't. All right? Rock of Ages, Rock of Ages. Rock will never die, and I'll make sure. There is one. I forgot about that Jesus quote. There's one more from Solomon here. Humility and the fear of the Lord bring wealth, honor, and life. And you see, what does most people think when they see that? Wealth, of course. Oh, well, all I got to do is be humble, and fear the Lord. But what do you think that really means? You know, you're only going to get wealth if you're living the life, if you're living the holy life, you know. But don't expect it. Don't expect honor, you know. Life, I give you life. You know, it's like, I give you a purpose. I give you a reason to live, to go on, to work for me. You know, it's like, I give you, like, I'll send you out on missions, you know, and stuff like that, where you will gain honor, you know, and the wealth. Don't worry about money. You know, it's going to come. If you do things the way I tell you to do, I mean, think about it. My government's going to be rich. People are going to be very rich. And science is going to make everything very awesome. All right? I'll never promise you to lower taxes. I'll never do it. I will never lower my tax, but I'll always stick to the same thing. All right? But in doing so, you become more wealthy, and we're able to have the money we need to do to have that advanced society. All right? It's not just about all the cool things that I want to build. All right, that is good. Yeah, we're at just going on 48. So remember, I'm not like, you know, it's all about my pleasing me, you know, and that, of course, don't think that's just sex, you know, dudes doing what they need to do. Yeah, you know, it's like, or if you become a nun, you know, or, you know, all of these things, like if you're married, you know, don't be afraid. Even if you're a woman I want, take Sabrina, for example. If she wants to stay with him, they are both welcome in the cult. I'm not trying to steal anybody, all right? I really need you to know that I'm not trying to take advantage of you. I will get in there and I'll work with you. I'll get on the front line with you, you know? I'm not like a president that sends his army out to war, you know? I mean, get down in there. Like, why isn't Trump down there fighting with his soldiers? You know, he thinks it's all so great and everything. Why doesn't he, you know, go with the wars, you know? Well, we got to keep the president safe. And I'm like, you people are a dime a dozen. All of you politicians, like, just pick somebody else, you know? I mean, think about it. It just proves how Congress rules everything. And it's weird how everything's working out. Like, Kamala, you know, if you didn't know, the vice president should be the president if the president steps down or if the president is injured or whatever. So Kamala should be calling the shots, but she's not doing anything. You know, it's like, it only proves what I've been trying to prove. This whole election has been in my favor. Like, all things work to the good of the Dreamweaver. You know, it's like, you know, everything does work out for me eventually, even if I have to go through painful situations. So, you know, they're all pussies. They're all cowards. You know, not one person will ever talk to me. Not one person, they yell all they want and honk and do whatever, run their motors and like hit them hard, you know. But nobody knocks on my door, you know. It's like, you think I'm going to stop? Bring it. Come on, step up. And you're scared of me because you know I'm right. Trump is scared of me because he knows I'm right. Everybody is scared of me because they know there's, like I say, the meditation series are only the tip of the iceberg. All right? There is so much in here that that's how I surprise people. Like, how does he know that? You know, it's not just telepathy. I know. All right? I am all knowing, all wise, and I'm omnipotent. Well, that's what I'm explaining in the multiverse, you know? How to get that, like, everybody's wondering, like, is our lives predetermined? Well, they are as from our perspective, but the multiverse is also predetermined. All right? So our lifelines are actually not predetermined, but the whole multiverse and every universe within that we transcend to or go into, they are not predetermined. They are free, you know? So it's a predetermined multiverse within universes that transcend and link and everything else. So just keep that in mind. All right, 52 minutes, but it's worth the wait and it's worth the watch. Peace.